Losing everything doesn't destroy you immediately. The real damage happens the morning after. You wake up. For 2 seconds, your brain forgets your life has collapsed. Then the weight drops on your chest. The empty room, the silent phone, the sickening realization that you have to survive today as a complete nobody. Most men never recover from this. They just spend the rest of their lives negotiating with a past that doesn't exist. But Miyamoto Musashi left a blueprint for exactly this moment. A brutal, step-by-step method to rebuild a man from absolute zero. Stay until the end for the 72-hour protocol, because it's the only way out of that room. Here is a terrifying statistic that modern society tries to sweep under the rug. Nearly 15% of American men today admit they do not have a single close friend. Why does that matter to you right now? Because it exposes a brutal truth. When you fall in the modern world, there is no safety net. There is no village coming to help you rebuild. You are entirely, completely alone. The days following a total collapse blur together. Time becomes a heavy, shapeless thing. Look at Elias. He sits in his dimly lit apartment, surrounded by moving boxes he hasn't unpacked. He lost his career, his relationship, and his sense of self all in the same terrible month. He searches for answers in the hollow glow of screens, in empty digital distractions, hoping to numb the ache. You know this feeling. The desperate search for a temporary fix when you are standing in the wreckage of your own life. But in the darkest hour of a sleepless night, Elias found something else. Not a modern self-help gimmick, an ancient map. The writings of Miyamoto Musashi. Elias brought his heavy, exhausting despair to this encounter. He wanted what you probably want when you are fundamentally broken: comfort. He wanted the ghost of the master to tell him that his pain was justified, that the world was unfair, that he was simply a victim of circumstances beyond his control. Musashi offered no pity. Through the text, the message was delivered with the weight of cold steel. If you truly wish to surrender, then do so completely. Fade into the shadows. But if there is even a single fragment of fight left in your spirit, then your life does not belong to despair. It belongs to discipline. Musashi did not hand Elias a warm blanket of motivation. He handed him a mental blade meant to cut straight through the thick, suffocating vines of self-pity. To rebuild, you must pass through his gates. The first gate requires you to drop the one thing keeping your fragile ego alive: your excuses. The rule is simple, yet devastating. Accept everything just the way it is. Musashi demands an immediate halt to your storytelling. Acceptance is not submission, it is clarity. To understand this, look at Musashi's legendary battle against the Yoshioka clan. Musashi was one man. The Yoshioka school brought over 70 armed men to ambush him at the Ichijoji pine tree, 70 to 1. In that moment, what does the average man do? He panics. His mind races, screaming, "This is unfair. This shouldn't be happening to me." He argues with the asymmetry of the situation. And because he is busy arguing with reality, he is cut down. Musashi did not argue with the numbers. He did not complain about the injustice. He accepted the brutal reality of the terrain and the overwhelming odds instantly. Because he accepted it, his mind remained perfectly clear. He used the narrow paths, he moved constantly, and he dismantled them. Your Yoshioka clan today is not a group of men with swords. In the last 2 years, hundreds of thousands of men were wiped out in corporate layoffs. Imagine it. You wake up, you check your phone. There is a sterile, automated email sent at 3 a.m. terminated. Just like that, the corporate title you built your entire personality around is gone. You are sitting on your couch, completely useless, watching your partner get dressed to go to work, or look at the modern breakup. No big argument. Just a slow fade, ending with you packing your life into cardboard boxes and moving into a silent, cheap apartment. Fear and paralysis do not come from these events. They come from your stubborn refusal to face them. You keep asking, why did she leave? Or why did the company let me go after all my hard work? If you argue with reality, you lose before you begin. Stop asking why this is happening to you. Start asking what needs to be done now. If this hits you in a real way, Pause for a second. Comment the number 1 down below. Do not do it for the algorithm. Do it as a definitive signal to yourself that you are ready to stop negotiating with reality. Claim your current state, no matter how ugly it is. Once you accept reality, a new enemy appears from the shadows. It is the ghost of who you used to be. Elias stands in his new, empty room. He holds a framed photograph. It is a relic from a time when he was respected, when he had a place in the world, when his title meant something. You know this ghost intimately. It visits you late at night. You find yourself digging through old messages, looking at proof of a time when you were someone. You tell yourself you are just remembering. You are not remembering. You are bleeding out. Every time you look backward, the warmth of your old life wraps around your ankles like a heavy iron chain. You try to take a step forward into the unknown to rebuild, but the chain violently drags you back to the comfort of nostalgia. Musashi laid down a strict command. Do not let your heart be tied to a place. You are not abandoning your past. You are executing the weak version of yourself that cannot survive without it. Here is a harsh truth about rebuilding. As you start to discipline yourself, your old friends might silently want you to fail. They will invite you out for drinks you shouldn't have. They will tell you to relax, not because they hate you, but because your new, desperate discipline exposes their comfortable laziness. If you are going to rebuild from absolute zero, you cannot drag a corpse with you. You cannot build a new fortress using the ashes of a burned-down house. Drop the chain. You have accepted the wreckage. You have cut the anchor to your past. Now, you decide it is time to work. But instead of moving forward, you walk straight into a hidden trap. The paralysis of planning. Elias sits at his desk, feeling highly motivated. He buys a premium journal. He watches 4 hours of YouTube videos on morning routines and dopamine detoxes. He builds a flawless, color-coded spreadsheet for his new life. He feels incredibly productive. But by Friday, he hasn't done a single hard thing. He didn't apply for the job. He didn't lift a weight. We disguise our fear of failure as preparation. Musashi called his philosophy Dokodo, the way of walking alone. In battle, you don't pause to sharpen your blade. You fight with what you have, exactly where you stand. Stop trying to optimize a life you haven't even started building yet. Planning is comfortable. Execution is painful. And that leads us directly to the most dangerous gate of all. The comfort trap. Rebuilding a life from zero is an ugly, grinding repetition of menial tasks. It is sending your efforts into the void and receiving nothing but silence. By the second week of real effort, the friction becomes unbearable. Your mind, desperate for relief from the constant pressure, begins to bargain. You've made progress, it whispers. You survived the fall. You deserve a moment of peace. Just a small break. Just a little easier. So you sit down, you pick up your phone. Endless digital noise washes over you. You open a drink to take the bare edge off the anxiety. Modern culture will tell you to listen to that voice. It will tell you that self-care is important, that you need to rest and heal your inner child. This is a devastating lie. You think you are resting right now. You aren't. You are just dying at a slower, more comfortable pace. Musashi's rule is crushing. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Look at Musashi's duel against Sasaki Kojiro. Kojiro was a master. He relied on a perfectly forged sword and flawless fighting conditions. Musashi knew this, so he showed up hours late, carrying a heavy wooden oar he carved from a boat. Kojiro lost his temper. His psychological comfort zone was shattered, and Musashi crushed him with a piece of wood. Pleasure is not your enemy. Dependence is. If you need 8 hours of sleep, the right music, and a stress-free morning just to do your work, you are Kojiro. You are a slave to your environment, and reality will eventually crush you. Do not eliminate comfort. Stop chasing it. Stop needing it. When pleasure stops being the goal, discipline becomes a natural, unbreakable state. By now, you have learned to move without distraction. You no longer negotiate with reality. You are no longer tied to the ghosts of your past. You no longer seek comfort to numb the pain. But there is one final barrier, the ultimate boss of the human psyche, the fear of ending, the fear of failing again. When you have watched your entire life burn to the ground, trauma settles deep into your nervous system. You start to rebuild, brick by brick, but you do it with a trembling hand. You become terrified of losing the tiny, fragile bit of progress you have just scraped together. You notice it in the smallest hesitations, a quiet calculation of risk, a hidden desire to preserve what little you have left. You are moving, but you are playing defense. You are playing not to lose. Musashi saw this fatal flaw centuries ago. He delivered the final, absolute truth. If you fear death, you will cling to life in the wrong way. Every attachment you have stems from survival, the desperate need to protect. But that same need creates hesitation, compromise, and weakness. If you are terrified of the wreckage, you will never build anything great. You will only build safe, fragile things. If Musashi were alive today, he wouldn't tell you to meditate. He'd tell you to wake up, look at your empty bank account, look at your ruined life, and realize your greatest advantage: having nothing. To lose is not a tragedy. It is your ultimate weapon. Stop asking how to stay safe. Start asking how to act correctly, regardless of the outcome. When you stop guarding your fragile ego, you become exceptionally dangerous. When fear no longer controls your decisions, your actions become clean. No excess movement, no inner conflict, just pure, violent execution. Living without fear is absolute. It is uncomfortable, but it is exactly where the path becomes real. So, how do we make this real? How do you transition from watching a video to actively rebuilding your life? You execute the 72-hour protocol. Starting the minute this video ends, you have 3 days to completely reset your baseline. Step 1. Purge the environment. Walk through your room and throw away or hide anything that ties you to your past identity. Old photos, gifts from an ex, the lanyard from your old corporate job. Get it out of your sight. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. Step 2. The dopamine fast. For the next 72 hours, no cheap dopamine, no video games, no endless scrolling, no alcohol, no junk food. You will sit with your boredom and your anxiety until it forces you to take productive action. You must starve the weak version of yourself so the disciplined version can eat. Step 3. The physical anchor. Every single day for the next 3 days, you will complete one brutal physical task that you absolutely do not want to do. It could be 100 push-ups. It could be running until your lungs burn. It could be a freezing cold shower. You must prove to your mind that you can issue a command to your body, and your body will obey without negotiation. Look at your hands. They might be empty right now. You haven't reclaimed your kingdom yet. Your bank account is still drained, but
look closely, the panic is gone. The heavy, suffocating desperation has vanished.
in its place is absolute, unshakable control. You are dangerous again. This was never just a story. This is a mirror. It is a reflection of your own life right now. So, here is your final choice. You can close this video, go back to your comfortable distractions and continue negotiating with your weakness. Or you can draw a line in the cold ash of your past. Comment the number 1 down below. Not for me. Do it as a silent, public oath to yourself that you are ready to stop waiting and start building that level of control in your own life. Subscribe and stay close. Because this is not motivation. This is training.